Hariyama paired with Heat Proof Sinistcha and Primarina has made a dominant return back to Regulation H, getting second place at the Pittsburgh Regional Championship. We're going to be trying out the team and seeing how well it can perform. But first, let's break the team down. First up, we have the Power Herb Archaludon with the sturdy ability that allows it to live one any strong hit when at full HP, with the electric terror type to power up its Electric Shot. With Dragon Pulse, Electric Shot, Flash Cannon, and Protect. It's a pretty standard Archaludon, and it's one you really want to run outside of rain because you want the power up so you can actually use one of the strongest moves in the game. The electric terror type with the electric shot does allow you to OHKO no bulk golden go, which is pretty valuable and really threats him with some pretty strong damage with Dragon Pulse and Flash Cannon for coverage. EV Spread is just a simple max special attack, max speed variant with a timid nature, so you're able to outspeed those golden goes that are max speed, and again threaten them with the powerful electric shot. It is a pretty threatening Pokemon that is hard to stop. Next Pokemon we have is the Assault Vest Hariyama with the Thick Fat ability, which halves the damage that Hariyama takes from ice and fire type attacks with the Psychic Terror type, which is an interesting Terror type, but it's actually pretty useful with the combination of the Thick Fat ability, because with the Psychic Terror type, you're able to resist Sneeze or Close Combat, Expanding Force from the Indies and Hatterines out there, and it's just very useful into the combination of like our Trick Room stuff like the Psychic Spam plus the Sun boosted attacks. Assault Vest Hariyama is really well positioned to take attacks from both of them solidly with Close Combat, Knockoff, Heavy Slam, and Fake Out. So across the board, a really strong fighting type, which is very appreciated. Has Fake Out support, which of course is nice when you do have setup on this team with Speed Control as well as the Sword Stance on the King Gambit. Close Combat for the strong fighting type attack, Knockoff to get rid of items. Heavy Slam is pretty interesting because the fairy types aren't exactly the best in this format, but still able to dish out some pretty solid damage across the board into a lot of the lighter weight Pokemon like a Moongus, like Sneasler out there. It'll do a decent amount, so it's able to chip those for quite a bit. And then the EV Spread here, we have 156 HP and 220 special defense. You want this Pokemon to be able to tank hits really well, and you really want to make up for its low special defense because it's base 60. The Assault Vest plus a high amount of special defense, yeah, you're going to really want to invest it more than HP. And otherwise, you have a bit of physical defense and then 76 attack with a Brave Nature does give you an extra stat point to the attack, but this Pokemon is more supposed to be able to make those special attacks really well and fire back some pretty solid damage. Next Pokemon we have is the King Gambit with the safety goggles to help out against powder moves, especially against a Moongus, with the Define ability that gives it a +2 attack boost when one of its stats is lowered by the opponent, with the Ghost Terror type that is just able to help out against the 4x fighting weakness that the King Gambit has, with Kowtow, Cleave, Iron Head, Sucker Punch, and Sword Stance. So it's pretty standard King Gambit in general. Safety goggles, of course, because of a Moongus and Jump Up Sleep Powder, and you're able to fire off sucker punches into like the Charizard against the Marco Fierro Sun team. And yeah, it is pretty interesting. Other than not having Protect, it has Iron Head, which we don't commonly see on Sword Dance King Gambit. Typically we see double dark move, Sword Dance, and Protect. This one just foregoing Protect at all, just going for Iron Head to be able to hit those fairy types. That's all it really needs. With the EV Spread here, we have 236 HP, 196 attack with an Animate Nature, gives an extra stat point to its attack stat. Then the rest just going into bulk with more investment into special defense, which is King Gambit's weaker defense side. But yeah, set up a Sword Stance, able to dish out a good amount of damage even under Trick Room. And then if there's an Amoongus, you don't care about it because you have the safety goggles and you really threaten heavy amounts of damage. Who needs to protect? Next Pokemon we have is the Choice Specs Primarina with the Liquid Voice, which turns all of Primarina's sound type moves into a water type move with the Grass Terror type that is able to help out against its weakness to electric and grass type moves with Hyper Voice, Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, and Hydro Cannon. Primarina has really fell off in the format. It was very popular at the start of Regulation H Part 1, but kind of fell off because it was either just not taking the attacks well, it doesn't have the best physical defense in the world, or it wasn't able to do enough damage if you did invest into the defense. So it always kind of struggled on getting knockouts and kind of just fell unfavorably when Pokemon such as like Archaludon still give it a lot of trouble. However, this Choice Specs variant does allow you to make up for both worlds, right? You are able to have a really good amount of investment into its defenses while being able to actually get those knockouts that you really require, which is very solid when it has this great special attack stat combined with some of the best offensive coverage that is available in this regulation. with max HP, 36 defense, 188 special attack with a Moss Nature, gives an extra stat point to a special attack, and then 28 speed and 4 special defense. What this allows it to do is be able to outspeed base 100s after a tailwind is set up, but still be able to be utilized in that trick room. It will also be able to outspeed no speed investment Incineroars out there and threaten the Hyper Voice before that they can move and go for like a parting shot, for example. But otherwise, you're really supporting this Primarina with the tailwind or the trick room setups that you have on the team, and really just trying to utilize, again, Primarina has really good special coverage to be able to wall break through a lot of teams. Next Pokemon we have is the Mental Herb Sinistcha to help out against Taunt and Encore, the Heat Proof ability, which is able to half the damage from fire type attacks, and the Dark Terror type, which is again supposed to be useful against the ghost type moves that are super effective in the Sinistcha, as well as the dark type coverage out there with Matcha Gotcha, Strength Sap, Calm Mind, and Trick Room. So this is a pretty interesting Sinistcha set. I mean, you do have pretty standard move pool of like Matcha Gotcha and Trick Room, which is pretty much necessary. Trick Room for the speed control. Matcha Gotcha is the strong spread grass type move that can also have a good chance to burn, and it recovers HP on Sinistcha. But Strength Sap we also see commonly in order to heal up the Sinistcha and lower the opponent's attack stage by 1. But Calm Mind and Heat Proof is definitely something we don't commonly see. We have seen this set before though, because Matt was very much on it in Regulation H Part 1, and we've used the recreation of a team before and still had the Calm Mind Sinistcha. He really likes this Calm Mind Sinistcha. It's really able to tank attacks when set up in the right spot and allows Sinistcha to actually be a pretty big offensive threat. And Heat Proof is an interesting ability. We commonly see the Hospitality, which is what Sinistcha is mainly known for healing its allies, but the Heat Proof instead, if you're not switching out Sinistcha because you are the Calm Mindset, it does give it a really useful ability to help out against Sun teams and just strong fire types in general. It's able to really be able to tank, for instance, like with the Dark Terra, like opposing Incineroars and a bunch of other Pokemon. So it can be actually a pretty good sweeper. And under turns, if your opponent's playing passively under the Trick Room or stalling out the Tailwind turns, if you set up with Volcarona, a few turns of Calm Mind and then the Matcha Gotcha healing with the Strength Sap can be a little bit hard to get rid of Sinistcha, so it can definitely be utilized there. The EV spread, you do have 252 HP, 28 defense with a Bold Nature, gives an extra stat point, and then still a lot of special defense, which is kind of surprising, but I think in a lot of cases you don't always get to set up the Calm Mind. You need the bulk to be able to set up the Trick Room initially, and if you are going for the Calm Minds, you're still going to be able to do some good damage with the Matcha Gotcha, so just invest in bulk because you're not always guaranteed to get the Calm Mind, but when you do, then the special attack will be made up, because after Calm Mind you'll be able to raise your special attack and then dish out a good amount of damage. Final Pokemon on this team is going to be the Covert Cloak Volcarona, protecting it from secondary move effects like the fake out flinches, as well as anything like a stat drop from Snarl, Icy Wind, and more, with the Flame Body ability, which means if a Pokemon comes into contact with Volcarona, it has a chance to be burned, with the Steel Terra type to be useful as still resisting the Make It Rain from Golden Go, while also being able to resist the Rock type moves and flying moves that are super effective against Volcarona. The moveset of Flamethrower, Struggle Bug, Rage Powder, and Tailwind. We've seen this moveset before, and it's done really well at the Toronto Regional Championship in Regulation H, and it's pretty effective here because it's really hard to be able to break through this Volcarona, especially with like a standard Golden Go setup. So it can be very useful into Pokemon like the Golden Go. The Flamethrower is able to do some pretty good consistent damage across the board. The Struggle Bug for the really strong special attackers like the Blood Moon or Saluna, and then redirecting the attacks from the Primarina is just very nice. And setting up the Tailwind for speed control for the rest of the team, very helpful. EV spread wise, you do have a timid Volcarona with max speed because you want to be able to outspeed opposing Golden Goes, and you might as well just go with max speed at that point. Outspeed anything like the Annihilatives and a bunch of other Pokemon. Go for that Tailwind and more. It has a good amount of HP investment, 188 HP. I'm not sure about the specific number. I don't know if it's a calc or anything, but 60 defense. I'm assuming this is just like best odds for like scale shots from Dragonite, and then the remainder just going to special attack and special defense. It's a really cool Pokemon that's able to synergize well with the Primarina. It's able to threaten Rillabooms and the other grass types out there with the Flamethrower, good into the steel types that are pretty common. Struggle Bug into the special attackers like Pelipper or Chaladon, Blood Moon, Ursaluna. Less damage, so the rest of the team can do more work. It can be a very solid mod on this team. So how to use the team? It is a very interesting team. You have quite a few different lead options, and I feel like most of the options that we saw kind of leaned towards the tailwind mode. You had the Volcarona that was leaning pretty consistently, able to go for like an immediate struggle bug against slower leads to lower the special attack damage output. Tailwind, of course, if you need that speed control to allow your Archalon or Primarina to outspeed opponents. You had the Archalon that was tend to be leading because that sturdy makes it really difficult to remove immediately and able to fire off a pretty powerful hit without Electroshot. Then you want to set up for like, usually maybe it was like Primarina, King Gambit, or Sinistcha in the back. Those were like the main modes that we rarely saw on stream. I mean, there are quite a few different modes that of course we could go and see for the rest of the team. Of course, like Sinistcha, Trick Room lead immediately with the Hariyama makes a lot of sense. You do have that fake out Trick Room option and then bring out your King Gambit and your Primarina. You could go with Volcarona, of course, with anything like Volcarona Hariyama makes sense for fake out Tailwind or maybe fake out Struggle Bug. You could lead the Volcarona next to Primarina immediately to do a ton of damage with the Primarina, or even Volcarona plus King Gambit can also make a lot of sense with the Rage Powder or Tailwind plus the Sword Stance. And even Volcarona plus Sinistcha in some cases where you can't really go for fake out to stop your opponent, you need Trick Room or Tailwind up. You can go for like Rage Power Volcarona to get Trick Room up with the Sinistcha and sack the Volcarona to bring in the Primarina, Hariyama, or King Gambit to do a ton of damage. Yeah, you have quite a few different options there. And of course, you have leads like King Gambit plus the Hariyama with fake out Sword Stance, the Hariyama plus Primarina for some fake out plus really strong attack. Yeah, there's like quite a few different options that you do have, but you do want to generally set up probably for Primarina to dish out the most amount of damage because it is primarily your best attacker. You have Calm Mind Sinistcha that can be set up for win condition, Sword Stance, King Gambit, and of course our Chalon with Sturdy can be a great opener or a late game cleanup. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below, and let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about Hariyama and Primarina in Regulation H? Because I think Primarina has a lot of value. Water Fairy is just always great, but of course it did have some issues with, again, taking hits or doing the really strong amount of damage output you really wanted from the offensive coverage. And it's kind of a shame that Liquid Voice doesn't boost up the power of the attacks like a Pixelate would, for example, with Sylveon. But across the board, it's still a very strong Pokemon, and I think Hariyama is a bit underrated as well. It's a pretty strong fighting type Pokemon. It's just very different from what we commonly see. So let me know in the comments down below, do you think they're viable in Regulation H? Do you think that we could see them on more teams or different compositions? Let me know in the comments down below, but otherwise, let's get started and play some games. All right, we have Pelipper, Archaludon, Annihilate, Basculegion, Greninja, and Sinistcha. I don't remember if this is the exact 6, but I know this team got, I think it was top 8 at Monterey Regional with Greninja, which is really cool. I think it was William Brown who used this. So yeah, it's a really cool team. Loaded Dice Greninja. It has, I don't remember if Basque is there. That's the only mon I don't know if it was there. Wait, should it be Mousehold? No, I don't think it was Mousehold, actually. Maybe it was Basque. I can't remember. This is a really weird matchup because it's Loaded Dice Greninja. I do have Rage Powder Volcarona, but that doesn't really help out against the rain mode. I might have to bring it. I might have to bring it because I need Trick Room up, and I think like the best way to get Trick Room up is Sinistcha plus Volcarona. And then in the back, I want Prim because Prim is amazing offensively against their team. Probably the Archaludon. We'll see how this approaches because I'm not 100% certain, but I need to deny the Safety Goggles Ape, Loaded Dice Greninja. Okay, they lead the Annihilate plus the Greninja versus Volcarona and Sinistcha. I think it's Terra Ghost Greninja if I'm not mistaken, so I don't think it's Terra Grass. I should be able to get a Rage Powder safely and go for the Trick Room, but we'll find out. If they taunt, because I think it's Safety Goggles taunt, Final Gambit Annihilate with Rage Fist, and is it Drain Punch or Close Combat? I think it was Close Combat. Should be fine because I do again have my Mental Herb on Sinistcha, but if they change the team, like, yeah, it's over. If they change the team, it's over. So let's see if they're Terra Grass or they're Safety Goggles, but we'll find out. Rage Powder. Go for Rain Dance for some reason. Okay. And they choose the Final Gambit, the Volcarona. All right. I mean, they take a trade, but I think that trade is way better for me. I think that trade is way better for me. Okay. As Trick Room comes out, Primarina in. That is Archalon? Yeah, Archalon makes sense. Does Greninja have anything that can beat Primarina? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I could just Terra Grass to avoid taking like heavy damage here. This is like Dark Pulse, Water Shuriken, Rain Dance. I don't even remember what the last move is. But I think I just go for a Moonblast into the Archalon. And I think I just Calm Mind. Because Machagacha is probably not even knocking out the Greninja anyway. I might as well just Calm Mind and Moonblast and get some heavy damage off. Then I can go for Machagacha plus Moonblast anyway. But we'll see. Go for the Terra Grass. We'll be able to absorb an Electro Shot. Yeah, definitely an interesting decision on the turn one. Moonblast for heavy damage. So much. That's so much. +1 Sinistcha. All right, what are their combo attacks that they're going for here? Did they have anything to change the team? They go for Electro Shot, and it's going to probably hit into the Primarina that's now Terra Grass type, so it will not do that much damage. Oh, they target Sinistcha. Wait, they target Sinistcha. What? Dark Pulse double up? Okay, they doubled up the Sinistcha. They read the Terra, but like, yeah, now it's over. I go for Moonblast. I go for Machagacha. And I think I got my opponent. Don't think they have any counterplay. They had to dodge the Machagacha with Greninja. They're going to swap out their Archalon to preserve it. What do they even have in the back that could save this? Pelipper. Well, the Pelipper is going down to the Moonblast Machagacha for sure. Do I double miss Machagacha here? Maybe that's the thing that could get them in the game, I guess. Even then, I think it's really hard to break through my Archalon. I bet I hit both Machagacha, so I should get the double KO here. I just do my KO Greninja +1, yeah. So we'll heal back all that HP, and I mean all that HP. And yeah, then it's Archalon versus the world. It should be a Solvest Archalon. It looked pretty fast because it took the Moonblast not so great. So I'm pretty sure Moonblast will KO the Archalon. And what do I do with Sinistcha? I guess I Strength Sap. I mean, it doesn't really matter what I do. Yeah, the Archalon was definitely... It does seem like a Solvest and a lot of speed. We go for the Moonblast. We go for the Strength Sap. It seemed like they didn't really have much for the Trick Room mode. Because the Mental Herb on the Sinistcha changes a lot. Because normally you run Taunt for the Porygon 2. But since this is a Mental Herb mon, it changes a lot. Like the dynamic changes a lot. And because I had to redirect mon, it couldn't go for the Water Shuriken into the Rage Fist. Even then, I could go for Terastization if I really want to, but it could be a read down close combat, I suppose. All right, we have Pelipper, Palafin, Amoonguss, Archaludon, Rillaboom, and Weavile. All right, the Weavile could be scary because if it's a low kick, it's not easy to deal with. Palafin is also a really terrifying mon. I do have Sinistcha, but Wave Crash is still hurt very, very much. Okay, I need to break through Archaludon first. Archaludon's a big threat. Primarina Hariyama doesn't seem too bad of a lead-wise here. I don't really like Volcarona. It doesn't do too much. Goggle's Gambit is also pretty good, but there is the Archaludon you got to keep in mind of because of Body Press. Yeah, there's no easy line, I'd say. I kind of like the Hariyama plus Primarina angle the most. I do want Sinistcha in the back, and I think Archaludon. I need two answers to Palafin, I feel. Because Volcarona's like okay, but it's not incredible. King Gambit's kind of the same, where I don't think it's really amazing in this. I gotta watch out for their Archaludon as well as their Palafin. Those are the two biggest threats. And what makes Palafin scary is that Jet Punch threat, especially. So we're going to see Palafin Pelipper. Okay. Rain mode immediately versus Hariyama Primarina. Don't think I mind this. I can go for a Fake Out, or I could go for a knockoff to catch a switch if it's a Amoonguss I feel in the back. The question is, do I want to go for a Fake Out in the Pelipper, or do I want to go for a knockoff? I could go for a Moonblast as well. I kind of like the idea of throwing off. I want to draw off Rain Boosted attacks or no? I feel like getting rid of the Pelipper is really good. I think I'm just going to Fake Out the Pelipper, and I'm just going to go for probably Moonblast, I think. I'm going to go for Moonblast. I'm going to target the Palafin in case Pelipper protects. All right, Palafin gonna retreat here, which is fine. A grass type I wouldn't be surprised by, but I could always hard swap. It's not that big of a deal. We're gonna see the Amoonguss come in, so that makes sense here. I do get a fake out on a Pelipper, which will flinch it. Okay, and I do get a pretty big Moonblast off into the Amoonguss, which is doing some good damage at least. Okay, so if it's Amoonguss, their back is probably a bit more passive, which is nice. I could go hard Sinistcha, or I could Terra Grass. I don't really see myself using Terrestrialization that much in this matchup. I think I'd probably go for the Grass Terra here. I think I'm just going to go for a knockoff into the Amoonguss. Get rid of the item in case it's like Citrus. And I think I will go for Terra Grass and Moonblast a Pelipper. My only problem is our Chaladon in the back, but I think I have enough tools between my own Chaladon, Sinistcha, still healthy, and my Primarina with Terra Grass. It should be alright, especially since it's only Palafin in the back and then one other. Now the question is, do they Hurricane the Primarina? Because if they Hurricane the Primarina, a huge threat, but they could also Hurricane my Hariyama. They go for the Hurricane, they do target the Hariyama, so this is best case. I take it pretty well with that Assault Vest. You do get a Moonblast into the Pelipper, which will take the knockout, which is an amazing knockout for me. Who did they Spore here, the Primarina or the Hariyama? As we get a knockoff into the Moon. Doesn't look like it's a Moonblast range. We get rid of the Rocky Helmet. Spore goes into Primarina. Perfect. Okay, so I've gotten like the last turns kind of rightish for the most part, which is pretty good. Let's see who coming out. Palafin? Palafin, okay. I'm not too worried about losing Hariyama here. I think I'm just okay with going for the Heavy Slam, trying to KO the Amoonguss if they allow me that opportunity. And I'm just going to fire off a Moonblast and get damage into the Palafin, which is, again, the biggest threat that I do need to respect. I have no idea about the Terra Water Wave Crash calcs depending on the Palafin set, but I will just go for it as they do go for a Terra. Is this Terra Water Wave Crash? I wouldn't be surprised. We do see the Palafin Terra, and it is going to be the Terra Water. So will this Wave Crash KO? I guess we'll find out. I'm just hoping Sinistcha can live one, but we also have our Chaladon as a backup, so it's not like awful. Did you go for the Wave Crash? It is into Primarina. Can we survive? Oh my goodness. Well, that is one reason why you did run Palafin back then. Okay, that's a ton of damage. If this Heavy Slam doesn't knock on a Amoonguss, we're in a lot of trouble, but I think it should. Oh, it did not. Oh, but they Pollen Poked. Okay, that's not too bad. I think we want our Chaladon in. Yeah, I want to go our Chaladon here. Because we have Sturdy anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. And we can go for like a knockoff into the Palafin slot. And I actually want to... Actually, no, I want to knock off the Amoonguss and I want to Electroshot here. We might as well use the Rain Boost while we can to get more special attack out of this rain. Which I think is super valuable here. I could also protect and knock off, which is also like acceptable. This is a tough one. I have to get this call right. If they target the Hariyama, I'm in big trouble. I think we just knock off Electroshot though. They retreat the Amoonguss, which is actually pretty big because whatever's coming in is taking a knockoff. Weavile? Or Chaladon on their own. Okay, that makes sense. They didn't protect the Palafin. What? Oh, they might be choice banned. They might be choice banned, so they might have been screwed regardless. I mean, it does make sense in order to KO Primarina. It could be like Mystic Water or choice banned at least. But yeah. Electroshot knocks at the Palafin, which is a huge knockout. They didn't Rage Powder, I guess, fearing a Stalwart or Chaladon, which is definitely a possible set. But yeah, that is huge. I do get the Electroshot. I get a free knockoff into the Chaladon. Are you sturdy or are you stamina? You're stamina. Okay. I'm assuming I knocked off an Assault Vest just now. Yep. Okay, perfect. I'm feeling pretty good about this position because that should be bulky Chaladon then, which means I think I knock out a Amoonguss with +2 Electroshot, and then I should be able to go for a close combat into the Chaladon and Electroshots the Chaladon as well. Actually, yeah, they can't Terrestrialize, so I will go for a double up into the Chaladon. Because if I get this Electroshot in a close combat, I think it KOs. I'm like pretty sure. Since we knocked out the Assaultvest, I'm pretty sure we do. And if they Rage Powder, then they Rage Powder my Electroshot. So that's not that big of a deal. Because that means our Chaldon can only knock out one Pokemon potentially here. This is also the last turn of Rain, so they're going to lose the chance to ever go for Electroshots. So they become a lot less threatening to my Sinistcha afterward. And then Sinistcha could potentially 1v1 our Chaldon with Calm Mind, assuming no crits, of course. And Amoonguss goes for a Protect, so this ends up being best case. So I should be able to knock out our Chaldon here, unless they go for the KO into Hariyama. But even if they do that, that's completely fine. So we will absorb that electricity, and we will fire that electricity into our Chaldon. I'm saying like 50, 60%. Yeah, about that. Close combat should easily KO. Body Press comes out, but I do have Sturdy. Don't even need the Sturdy. And in close combat, double up KOs. Because if they Rage Powder, then they lose Amoonguss, and I can target, focus down their Chaldon on the next turn. If they decide, hey, I'm going to protect the Amoonguss, I know that it was a Assaultvest or Chaldon, very unlikely that protect. So I was just going to be able to double it up very safely there, and perfect. Okay. Ooh, Palafin was a bit scary, but thankfully not as worrisome as we need it to be. As we go for Heavy Slam and Electroshock. Like, even let's say they Rage Powdered with Amoonguss the previous turn, I'm like pretty confident Choice Man Palafin at that point. I would just go for Electroshock, knock out the Palafin the following turn, and then Hariyama versus plus Sinistcha and the 1 HP. Our Chaldon will take on the... Our Chaldon, granted, it would probably be a 2v1 because their Chaldon would probably get a knockout, but I still think it's a pretty ideal spot for me. All right, we have Ludicolo, Kingdra, Pelipper, Flamigo, the Archalon, and Crocodile. There better be no co-star surprise that I am fearing, but Flamigo is a pretty tough mon to deal with. Ludicolo is unironically rough as well. They are pretty weak to Fairy though. They do not have a good Fairy time against Fairy types. Archalon is also pretty good here if I set up correctly as well. I think lead wise, I like Sinistcha. So I'm trying to get Trick 'em Up in our Chaldon. Yeah, I like it the best. I think with Hariyama, I don't want to lead Hariyama because I lose the faster fake out anyway to the Ludicolo. I think I have Hariyama Primarina back, or maybe it's I like Hariyama more than King Gambit here. I think the pressures the Archalon more, and if the Archalon tears into a type that's not like the Grass, Hyper Voice would do a ton of damage to it. So I think that's probably the play. I like the idea of just getting this Trick Room angle set up, and we'll see if it's able to put in work. Like, I do believe that Primarina can put in a really solid amount of damage output. I think it's going to be the main Terra type on this, although I do have to make sure I respect the Pelipper, because Pelipper does threaten a lot of offense. I don't know if I'm going to Terra my Sinistcha immediately. I could Terra my Sinistcha immediately. It just depends on what they lead here, because if they lead like Pelipper plus our Chaldon, I think I'm inclined not to Terra, because I think I'll live a Electroshot into a Hurricane, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll find out. We'll find out. But let's see what they decide to go for here, lead-wise. Curious on what they decide to lead. Flamigo, Pelipper. Okay. Only one of these can have Sash, so that's an important factor. Do I live a Brayper? I mean, I'll live do a Wing Bead. Brayper probably not, but they would break their own Sash. I don't know if it's Sash or not. I think my best play is just to set up the Trick Room and go for the Electroshot and the Pelipper. Like, the only ways they can cover this is like Terra Ground or Terra Grass Pelipper, and then the Pelipper is maybe the Sash one, or they have Braybird. I'm just worried about Braybird Hurricane, but I don't really want to Terra my Sinistcha if I don't have to. Oh, they're Scarf and they go for the Hurricane, but that's fine. Okay. So good to know. They go for a double up into the Archalon, which is okay. Okay. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. While I do lose our Chaldon, which was a pretty good offensive mon, I mean, Primarina comes in, it clicks Moonblast with a Specs. I don't see a problem with that. I'm going to go for a Matcha Gotcha plus a Moonblast. There's no switching my opponent has for that combination, so I will just go for a Moonblast. You might be wondering why I don't go for Dazzle, but I don't want to play around a potential Wide Guard from either of these mons in the future, so just going to go for the Pelipper, try to get that knockout. They go for the Wide Guard, which is fine, because Moonblast should Oko Pelipper easily. Pelipper goes down, which is a pretty decent trade here, and then we'll figure out what the rest is later. Machagacha gonna go into the Flamigo. All right, what's your next Pokemon? Archaludon? If it's Archaludon, I go for Terra Grass, Machagacha plus Moonblast. Yep, as their Archaludon comes in. And we're gonna go for a Machagacha, and we're gonna go for a Moonblast into the Flamigo. Because we are gonna double up the Flamigo, because if they don't wide guard, I get a pretty good position. And if they decide, hey, I'm gonna attack, I'm in an amazing spot, because Moonblast Machagacha would KO through Sash. I'm a bit worried about the Archaludon, but across the board, I should have enough offensive turns to really be able to capitalize, but we'll see. Go for the Terra. I just need to hit Machagacha into the Flamigo if they don't decide to wide guard, because it's pretty important here. Okay, nice. Moonblast comes out of Flamigo. It is Sash. That's not surprising to me. If we hit the Machagacha, if Archaludon dodges, that's amazing, but nice. Okay. We do land both, and that's perfectly acceptable. Like, all we need to do is hit the Flamigo. So Flamigo goes down. We get a Machagacha. We get a crit into Archaludon and a burn. That does matter for body press, I guess, but we definitely take those. All right, goodbye, Flamigo. And then they go for Electric Shot, I'm assuming into Primarina. Yep, perfect. Okay, awesome. Best turn I could have probably asked for. All right, beautiful. Yeah, Primarina will take... I think we live at Dragon Pulse. Draco Meteor we definitely go down to, but that's acceptable. What is coming out? Kingdra, okay. I think I just go for a Calm Mind with Sinistcha, and I think I just throw off a Moonblast into the Archaludon, because it's probably a Solvest. If it's not a Solvest, it's getting blown up here. Yep, they protect Kingdra, which is not too surprising. I just need to damage an Archaludon here. Yeah, it's okay. I think that's sturdy Archaludon, because it went down to the Moonblast draw, which is perfect. I get a free Calm Mind up with Sinistcha, and then I think this game is sealed, because I don't think they can beat my Sinistcha ever. Did they Terra it ever? No, they didn't Terra. So I'm kind of surprised there was no Terras, but I guess it makes sense if we're protecting the Kingdra. Flamigo was never going to Terra, and Pelipper was never going to Terra. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I'm just going to Calm Mind again, and I'm just going to Moonblast the Kingdra. As battle going to be forfeited. Beautiful. Felt like I had a really good spots immediately. Like even though the turn one, like, it looks bad, right? I take a pretty... I lose my Archaludon immediately, which was good against those Pokemon. Primarina I knew was going to be the ace in the hole, so as long as I got a free switch, I was in a really good spot. So... very happy about that. If they doubled my Sinistcha, I could have gone a different way, but I think my own Archaludon could have actually potentially have done really well next to Primarina, but it would have definitely been trickier. So I was definitely willing to take the risk. I was worried about them hurricaning plus close combating my Sinistcha, but thankfully they decided to take the Archaludon, which ended up putting them, I think, in a worse spot. Oh, a rematch. I kind of waited a while too, so I'm kind of surprised. All right. They're not going to let me do the same thing again. I kind of like the idea of going with Sinistcha plus Hariyama this time. Because if it's Scarf Pelipper, it's a lot easier to play around. And they didn't bring Ludicolo last time. So I think it's like the idea of just doing Hariyama Sinistcha with the Primarina and Archaludon back. So I think we're pretty good. Also, I should have realized in the last game that they weren't the... what's it called? The Stamina Solvest set, because... wait, did they activate Stamina? I don't think... did they? No, they didn't. I don't think they did. On Archaludon, on the Machagacha. Otherwise, I could have confirmed it. Maybe it was Stalwart. Who knows? I didn't really look at it. We're going to see Archaludon Flamigo, which is completely fine. Versus Sinistcha Hariyama. I don't know if there's Terra Ghost on the Flamigo set, which it definitely could be. I do kind of want to fake out and Trick Room if I can. I think I will just go for that. I think I could live... I live Dual Wing Beat. I don't know if I'll live Brave Bird. A lot of the Flamigos, though, with Sash do tend to run Dual Wing Beat because it doesn't break their Sash, but also, like, what's it called? Brave Bird breaking the recoil is not great, and Sash Sneasler exists. I'm going to go for Fake Out into Archaludon and just go for a Trick Room. They also might protect Flamigo and play on the offense, which is fine. Right now, this lead is pretty good offensively against their team, but we'll see. Our child gonna retreat, so good switch on their part. Who's coming in? Developer, okay. It really depends on the Flamigo though. Ooh, they didn't protect. Good play. Close combat though. Okay, that's fine. All right. Don't mind that. I do get the trick room up. I mean, I feel like I just strength sap the Flamigo and I go for a heavy slam into Flamigo. If they protect, I don't even think it's that bad for me because I get a free switch to Prim. And if they wide guard exactly, I get a free heavy slam strength sap up. And that's pretty nice to have. The heavy slam, so much damage, brings it down to 1 HP. With crit, didn't really matter there because it'd be 2-shot by anything at this point. We do strength sap to heal back our Sinistcha. I mean, Pelipper's going to get a free Hurricane, but right now we're in such a good spot. Yeah, they go for Hurricane. I could have sacked Sinistcha, of course, but I was okay with this trade. Yeah. I'm just gonna go for Matcha Gotcha, and I'm gonna go for a knockoff into the Did I knock out the Pelipper? I think I should. Actually, nah, I just knock out the Flamigo because it covers any switch. They go for wide guard, which is fine. I think I should have went just for a Matcha Gotcha plus a heavy slam earlier, but goodbye Flamigo. Matcha Gotcha gonna be protected by the wide guard from Pelipper, but I still don't see how to break in through this at this point. You go for Hurricane, knock out the Sinistcha, but the Sinistcha's done its job. I have 2 more turns of the Trick Room. Like, what are they gonna do? Go Ludicolo, I suppose. I can go Arch. There's nothing wrong with me going Arch here. I think I will go Arch, actually. This is probably back our, like, Swift Swim and their own Archaudon, right? Yeah. Don't see a drawback to Electro Shot the Pelipper, and I guess we just close combat for damage into our Archaudon. Yeah, that seems pretty good. They don't have a safe switch. Offensively, this puts me in a good spot. I guess like I should be worried about like getting cleaned up by endgame Fastmons, because although my Archaudon is going to be faster than them. I guess it depends on if they actually keep rain for the rest of the game. But yeah, I do get a free close combat and a free Electro Shot here. They do have a Terrestrialization, so this is interesting. Who's the Terrestrialization? It's not Pelipper. Okay. They go for the Terra Electric, which is fine. Because now they don't even have a Hyper Voice switch. Close combat should still 2-shot, probably. Yeah. Barely. Yeah, maybe I'll miss it, but we'll see. Go for Electro Shot. Into my Archaudon or Hariyama? Okay, if they tar Hariyama, I think it's cooked for them because I do have my Sturdy still available. That didn't KO Hariyama, but that did do a lot. I mean, I'm -1. They had Terra Electric. I don't think that's Specs. I'm like pretty sure that's not. But yeah, here's an Electro Shot into the Pelipper. So Pelipper goes down. Last Mon is it Kingdra? If it's Kingdra, I'm pretty sure they're cooked. But we'll see. It is Kingdra again. Okay. I mean, I Dragon Pulse here and I go for close combat. I don't really see a drawback. I'm not really that scared of the Kingdra. I just got to worry about the Archaudon, but I have no idea. Okay, they do have Protect on Archaudon, which is fine. They don't protect, which is cool. Okay. I still have Sturdy on Archaudon, so assuming that there's no setup on their team, I think I'd say I have a very likely chance of winning. There's like one thing I could see that screws me over because they have what, like 1 more turn of rain? Or no, rain stops actually. Wait. Oh, wait, this is perfect. Okay. the rain stops, then I just click Dragon Pulse into the Archaludon always. Well, I guess if they double protect into Muddy Water accuracy drop, or if this is some speed tide that I'm just unaware of. But yeah, we go for Dragon Pulse and we go for close combat. Primarina beats the Kingdra, so all we have to do is beat the Archaludon, but we'll see. No protect, so I just guarantee win. They need a double protect with Archaludon if they wanted a chance. But Archaludon goes down. It was also a mind game of like who I targeted with Archaludon, because I could have Dragon Pulse the Kingdra theoretically, and I would have been able to win the game that way. Maybe I should have targeted the Kingdra, because then Archaludon could only target down my Archaludon or the Hariyama, but they can't break Sturdy and KO Hariyama at the same time unless they have like Breaking Swipe or some weird move. So yeah, like I think I should have done that, but I'm pretty set here. I pretty much sealed the game with Dragon Pulse into a close combat, so very solid. I mean, Dragon Pulse just cleans it up. So nice. I think if I get Trick Room up, I'm just in a really good spot because they're a very fast offensive rain team and they just don't like Trick Room. All right, we have Frostmoth, Rillaboom, Dragonite, Ursaluna, Alola Ninetales, and Incineroar. So it's really interesting to see no Trick Room. There's no Trick Room option on this team, but they do have the Ursaluna. Also, Frostmoth is always a really cool Pokemon. I enjoy seeing a Frostmoth. Their team seems really weak to Gambit. Like overall, I think Gambit's pretty strong here with Ironhead, especially. I'm trying to figure about the rest of what I want to bring. I think Primarina is really good here. Archaludon's tempting, but I'm not 100% certain. I do really love Volcarona King Gambit. I think is a lead. There isn't really much that they can do to punish it, I think. So I think I'm going to lead Volcarona King Gambit. It might be low kick though on Dragonite, but I feel like it should just be Tailwind plus the haste set. I guess like this lead is a little bit weak, I guess, to Ursaluna lead. So maybe I lead Volcarona plus Primarina instead, which might be better. Yeah, I think it might just be better. I have King Game in the back, and then I don't think it's Sinistcha back. Is it Hariyama or is it Archaludon? Archaludon has Sturdy, which is nice. Electric Shot is pretty good. Hariyama is pretty decent offensively, though. I'll go Hariyama. Yeah, I'm going to try Hariyama. We'll see how it goes, because I like the idea of having Fake Out Pressure can be still very useful, because a lot of the Mons I feel like on this team might not run Protect. So we'll see what happens. We also have Heavy Slam for the Ninetales. We have Knock Off to get rid of items. We're going to see Ursaluna plus the Dragonite. So I'm very happy I led Primarina and Volcarona here. All right. Not too bad, not too bad. I kind of like the idea of just going for a Tailwind immediately, and I think I either go for a Dazzling Gleam immediately or I just go for a Hyper Voice. I like the idea of just getting... I realistically just like getting the Hyper Voice damage off, but I do have to watch out for Dragonite, I suppose. My Volcarona always gets Tailwind up before. Maybe I should just go for a Moonblast and a Dragonite. Actually, maybe I just do Moonblast a Dragonite. I do kind of like that. All right, we see a Terastization. This might be Terra on the Bear. I would have preferred Hyper Voice in that's the case. Okay, yeah, they did Terra the Bear. They Terra the Bear into Poison. Not what I anticipated. Okay. So this is going to get really awkward real fast, as we do go for the Tailwind with our Volcarona, and we get a Choice Specs Moonblast off into the Dragonite. Should do a lot, but it's multi-scale most likely. Yeah, able to hang on. I don't even know if Flamethrower would KO. The Tailwind's going to come out from their side, and then what are they going to do with the Bear? Earthquake or Headlong Rush? Headlong Rush Primarina. I should survive one. Yeah, because it's not boosted yet. Okay. I just don't know if Dragonite lives to Flamethrower, man. If it lives to Flamethrower, that's kind of awkward. I wonder if Flamethrower or Moonblast could KO the Bear. I feel like the answer is no, but maybe. Because it is -1 special defense, and that's pretty big in the calcs. I'm so tempted to, because I really don't have a switch, like a good switch. I think it might actually be a Werv. I think I'm going to go for Flamethrower, and I am going to go for the Moonblast into the Bear. We don't know if the Bear's max speed. It could be max speed on this team, but if I switch out Primarina to reset the move, then it doesn't matter anyway. I'll go for the Flamethrower and the Moonblast. No protect from the Dragonite. I do get a Flamethrower off. It does a ton of damage to Ursaluna, actually. Haste to get rid of the defense and special defense drop. Are they fast, though? Does Primarina outspeed? Okay, the Bear is faster. Here's my Volcarona. but I get a Moonblast off into the Ursaluna. Although it wasn't at -1. Does burn KO? It doesn't look like it. Yeah, it barely survives. Okay. But if it's Haze Tailwind, then it shouldn't be a low kick. So I should be able to get a free King Gambit here. And King Gambit puts on a lot of pressure with Sucker Punch plus Moonblast. I like the idea of just going for the Sucker Punch Moonblast. They don't really have a counterplay to it. So yeah, I'm just going to go for Sucker Punch. I'm going to go for Moonblast. Seems pretty safe. Do I double up the bear? No, I target Dragonite. I think we get rid of Dragonite so I can... Those Scale Shot and Tailwind are no longer factors in the remainder of the game. I think I could see the bear retreat, but like, what do they retreat into is a good question. Maybe Rillaboom, but even if they go Rillaboom, that's fine. Okay. Sucker Punch comes out, knocks out the bear. Perfect. Don't be low kick Dragonite. And we're in a pretty good spot. If it's low kick on Dragonite, that's gonna be a tough one. Okay, it's just Scale Shot. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. It should be solo Scale Shot right now on this team. Especially if you run Tailwind and Haze. I just don't think you can really... Like, I feel like you need Protect on the Dragonite, I think, for sure. Because a lot of mons didn't seem like it would have Protect otherwise. So, they get 5 hits, which is fine. Moonblast is going to KO the Dragonite. We're up 3-2. We do have a weakened Primarina and some chip on the King Gambit, but looking pretty solid. As Dragonite goes down, okay. Of course, this could get ugly depending on the situation. This is... They did use their Terrassization though, so I don't have to worry about it as much. Gonna be Incineroar, which makes sense. What's the last? Rillaboom. Alright, this is scary if I get the calls wrong. This is pretty scary if I get the calls wrong. So, I do get the Defiant boost, which is really good. They probably Grassy Glide my Primarina, and they probably Flare Blitz my Gambit, or they might click Fake Out, which is also fine. Do I want to go Hariyama is the question. I feel like I need to get rid of Rillaboom, so I think my best play would probably be to Terra Ghost Kowtow. And... is it Moonblast here? Or is it the hard swap into Hariyama so I have to Fake Out and I have a sack if necessary? I feel like I want to keep Hariyama healthy for the Incineroar, so I think it's just Moonblast to Rillaboom. There's also a world where they go for Woodhammer, Flare Blitz, double up into King Gambit to cover for Terrassization. I think it's better to actually just always go for the Terra Ghost, because I don't need a Terra on my Hariyama or my Primarina in this position, and just try to knock out the Rillaboom. They go for the Woodhammer, so they did go for an attempt to double up, I assume. A lot of damage. I am faster than the Incineroar, so that's actually really good information. Moonblast special attack drop doesn't matter. They did go for the Flare Blitz. Okay, so staying in was the right play. Terra Ghost was also like... wasn't the best. I could have Sucker Punch, but that's fine as well. Because now I can go into Hariyama. And as long as our Incineroar and Primarina don't speed tie, I should have a really good chance of winning this game. So we'll see another interaction with the grassy terrain. My Primarina has moved twice before the Incineroar, so I'm assuming I'm faster with Primarina than this Rillaboom. So unless the Rillaboom has Protect, which is probably pretty unlikely, or if it's Covert Cloak, which again is super unlikely, I should be able to get a Fake Out Moonblast combination off in the Rillaboom and take the knockout in the Rillaboom. Incineroar can do whatever, but as long as I kill the Rillaboom, I don't think the Incineroar can beat my thick fat Hariyama, as well as I still have Primarina around. So Fake Out gonna come out in the Rillaboom, no protects. Rillaboom flinches. Beautiful. And then Moonblast KOs the Rillaboom for the knockout, which is incredible because that is the mon that was threatening the most amount of damage. As they go for... well, they're going to disconnect when they saw the Moonblast KO the Rillaboom. But yeah, like I had it locked. No matter what slot the Incineroar goes for, I have close combat plus Fing or plus Moonblast. And yeah, like I guess maybe if they Flare Blitz burn my Hariyama, but even then, I think they need like crit Flare Blitz into maybe another crit Flare Blitz at -1 defense, and even then I don't know if that's enough to knock out Hariyama. Maybe a close combat doesn't KO to a KO the Incineroar because maybe it's like Citrus or something. Yeah, felt I played pretty good offensively. No, I really wish I locked in the Hyper Voice to get huge damage into the Ursaluna, but I don't think it was too bad. I was still able to do a ton of damage to them regardless. So Felt like even though the start could have been better, like it wasn't terrible, and then the later parts of the game, like I felt like I had pretty good control, and I'm really glad I didn't switch out into Hariyama, and I just went for damage and a Rillaboom to try and set up for a really good end game with the Hariyama in the end to clean up the Incineroar. All right, we have Annihilate Mousehold. It's from Male Entity, Sneasler, and Golden Go. Talk about best of one. Lead guessing mind games. All right. I have a safe one here. I mean, I have Volcarona, which is nice, but everything otherwise, kind of tricky. Kind of tricky. I think I definitely lead Volcarona though. Do I lead Volcarona Prim? The Sneasler's just so tough. Yeah, the Sneasler's are so tough for this team. I guess it's just our Chowdon because I have the Sturdy, which is really useful here. In game, it's not even. In game, it's decent, but it's like not necessary. Yeah, this is just super tough. I mean, I am bringing Volcarona or Chowdon Prim because Prim is good offensively against this team if I set up properly. But the question is, would I break through this sufficiently? Hariyama, it's like okay, it's not like amazing. In Gambit, their Psychic Terrain, so Sucker Punch is useless. If I Ghost Terror, it's like not too bad, but even then, I guess I'll just go Sinistcha if I need the Trick Room mode, because maybe I get the Trick Room up. It's definitely possible. I don't like this. I don't like this. They have a lot of fast mons. I have no idea what their sets are, so I'm already in the guessing game. And yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're gonna see Annihilate Mousehold lead, okay. Versus Volcarona or Chowdon. So this doesn't seem terrible. I like the idea of just going for a Tailwind Electro Shot immediately into... Yeah, I always go for the Ape, right? Do I go for the Ape or not? Probably. If this is Final Gambit, they can only take the knockout into Volk. Or they have to double my Archaudon, which means I get Tailwind up. I think I just go for Electro Shot into the Ape. They're going to go for Terastization, which is fine. Fire Terra for the burn? Yeah, okay. I mean, they're weak to Hyper Voice now, so that's not like awful. Electric Terra. I'm shocked because I didn't have to go for Electroshock in that slot. I could have went for the Mousehold. Okay. How much damage am I doing with Electroshock? I hope it's a good amount. Is this game over? No, I definitely have enough tools. Granted, this is definitely going to be a hard one. Because I'm assuming I'm losing my Volk. Well, if I got a Flame Bite, that also would help. That does nothing to the Ape. They Rage Fist my Archaudon. Okay, wait, no, that works. Okay. That's fine. That's a huge reason why Sturdy is super good here. We can go for Flamethrower into the Dragon Pulse. If they follow me with Mousehold, that's fine. But if they protect Mousehold, they raw attacked with Mouse. They have been getting me. Oh my goodness. Alright, good plan there, Fire. What did they do though? Who did they go for? They went for a beat up into Archaudon, which yes, it's fine. Not really. I'm trying to think of how I even come back from this, and I'm like, I don't think I can. I legitimately don't think I can. I needed to, even if I led Prim, it didn't matter. Was there even a decent lead for me? I don't think so. The fact that it's Terra Electric actually just screwed me over so much. If I just Electroshot the Mouse, this would have been fine. Because I could have went for Flamethrower and the Mouse, and I could have went for Dragon Pulse afterward. Flamethrower Moonblast doesn't take any knockouts. I think my best play is probably just to Rage Powder here. Hope for like a Flame Body burn and maybe like a crit. I gotta go for Hyper Voice. Do I go for Hyper Voice or Gleam? I go for Hyper Voice. It is leftovers apes. I don't have to worry about goggles. If we get the flame body, we have a chance. Maybe. I need Prim to live a rage fist after all the boosts I've been giving it. Oh, that's actually a lot more damage than I thought. Okay, hold on. Rage fist. Well, this should always KO Volk. Good. Okay. But the problem is this mouse is probably fast. Well, actually, no. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I need Hyper Voice to KO the ape now. We go Sinistcha, we click Trick Room, and we click Hyper Voice. If we KO the ape with Hyper Voice, we're in a good shape. So we're going to go for Hyper Voice, and we're going to go for Trick Room. If we don't KO, we lose. Like, that's basically it. If I don't KO, I lose. They go for Protective Mouse. This should be Protected with Ape too, I'm assuming. Beautiful. And I can Matcha Gotcha Hyper Voice the next turn, and that should KO Ape guaranteed, assuming I just land a Matcha Gotcha into the Ape. So, you know what? We're coming back from this. We're coming back from this. It's possible. It's doable. After a complete blunder of a couple of 2 turns, this has now become a winnable game. This Matcha Gotcha should do enough to the ape to put in range of Hyper Voice, because we saw how much damage I was doing. And if Matcha Gotcha KOs the mouse hold at this range, that means no friend guard for the ape. So yeah, we Matcha Gotcha and Hyper Voice. Oh wait, yeah, I'm faster. But that means no friend guard for the Annihilate, which means that Matcha Gotcha should KO the ape. Also, I think I low rolled the Hyper Voice, or maybe I low rolled this time and got a high roll last time, but perfect. I get the KO into ape, I assume. Beautiful. All right, doable. Doable. This Trick Room route is really paying off. Trick Room Prim really paying off. This is Indeedee. Okay, and that is Sneasler. Not over, but really good spot, I think. Psychic Seed, so they get a special defense boost. I mean, this game's nowhere near over. I need to KO the Indeedee with Hyper Voice Matcha Gotcha or I lose. Yeah. Because I can't tear it out of the Dire Claw. And I could Strength Sap, but here's the thing. If this is like some Specs or Choice Scarf Indeedee, I can't beat it. Please hit the Indeedee. No! Burn! Burn the Sneasler. Burn the Sneasler. No. That's Specs. I think if we hit the Indeedee, we just KO the Indeedee, and then it's a 1v1 between Sinistcha and the Sneasler. But I could also get like, I could just Strength Sap recover like the HP. It was so doable. I need a burn now, but a burn probably won't save me anyway. Get the KO on the Indeedee. I don't think I burned a Sneasler, so I think no chance. I could have Terra Dart on the Throat Chop, but did I even? Maybe. I don't think the next Matcha Gotcha would have KO'd regardless. Well, I guess then I could have Strength Sapped, right? And then Close Combat wouldn't KO. Oh, they Dire Clawed. I didn't KO. Man, I didn't even need the burn to win. Well, I need the burn in the second time. I just need the Matcha Gotcha to hit the first time. And then I would be able to Strength Sap heal the Sneasler, and I would have been in really good shape. Oh, man. But that's how it goes sometimes. Unfortunately, that is how it goes sometimes. Like, we had a really rough start. We had a great comeback factor with the Trick Room on the last row of Tailwind. Unfortunately, Matcha Gotcha not exactly a guaranteed accurate move. All right, we have Incineroar, Jumpluff, Ursaluna, Torkoal, Charizard, and Porygon 2. This is a Marco Fierro team. All right. What do I want to go here? Cause I don't think the Sun matchup is fantastic for this team. Charizard's a huge damage dealer. It is a very huge damage dealer. I don't have the best answers for the Jumpluff either. Yeah, this is gonna be a tough one. Hariyama maybe can do something since we're big fat, but dealing with this Jumpluff. I don't think I have an immediate way to get rid of Jumpluff other than Volcarona with Flamethrower. Like, I really don't have anything else. I have Heat Proof Sinistcha, which doesn't even... I mean, it's good into Ursaluna, but it's bad into every other fire type. I think I might have to bring it anyway. King Gambit could be decent, but it does take a lot of damage from the fire type mons. I think it's like Volcarona plus the... I'm gonna lead Primarina. I either lead Primarina or Hariyama. I'm thinking of Hariyama for the fake out to threaten the Charizard, but dealing with this is... I think it's Hariyama. I think it's Hariyama, Primarina, and Sinistcha back. Yeah. Like, maybe there are some game plans I could do with Sucker Punch King Gambit, where I could Sucker Punch threaten on a Terra Ghost. Like, I could go for, like, fake out Sucker Punch into Charizard into another Sucker Punch. But I don't even know if they're leading Charizard guaranteed. But we're going to see Jump Off Torkoal. So this is kind of what I expected as we do lead our Volcarona and our Hariyama. I don't think this is too bad, but we are going to probably see the Sleep Powder. So I'm going to go for a Flamethrower into the Jump Off immediately to try and knock it out. Maybe Covert Cloak. I could go Sinistcha as well. Does Sinistcha get me anything? Not really, I'd say. I think my best play is just to Flamethrower to Jump Off and probably just knock off the Torkoal, because I could fake out the Torkoal, but it could also hard switch into a threat, and I really don't want that happening. So I'm going to go for knock off in the Torkoal. They go for the Sleep Powder, and that is the danger of using Sleep Powder. They actually targeted the Hariyama, which is interesting. So I do get a Flamethrower off into the Jump Off, which does take the knockout, which is really incredible for me. And then I get a knockoff into the Torkoal to get rid of its eject pack, unless they move first, but no, because I am in speed Hariyama. With the Torkoal, get the knockoff into the eject pack, and now they go for overheat, but they won't get the free switch. So that's a pretty big deal. Okay, amazing turn, amazing turn. They lost so much momentum. Like, I was also okay with going for that as well, because let's say they did hit the Sleep Powder, I still prevent the Torkoal from like being able to get the free switch out. Jump Off applies no offensive pressure, and they kind of have to like either stay in with Torkoal, go for a -2 overheat again, or they are forced to switch, which means Volcarona could potentially wake up that turn. But yeah, definitely huge. We will go for the Tailwind here, and we're going to go for a knockoff into the Charizard. Get as much damage as possible. They're going to go for Helping Hand. We do have the Thick Fat Hariyama, so we should live any attack here. And let's see if we can move first. We don't move first, so Heat Wave going to come out. But as you can see, like, look at how well Hariyama took that hit. It took that extremely well. And then we get a knockoff into the Charizard, get rid of your Choice Specs. So now we can bring out our Primarina, and Primarina with Hyper Voice is still going to do a ton of damage to them. And if their last mon's Ursaluna, we have Sinistcha, so we're in a pretty good spot, I'd say. We go for Hyper Voice here, and we're going to go for a knockoff into the Torkoal. Or should I close combat a Torkoal? I think I should go for a knockoff in the Torkoal. Actually, no, I should just knock out the Charizard. Because Hyper Voice will KO the Charizard anyway. They're probably going to just go for Air Slash regardless. Yeah, they Air Slash the Primarina, actually. Okay, tons of damage. No flinch, though. So I do get the Hyper Voice. I get the KO into the Charizard. Like, I went for knockoff in the Charizard because I thought they would Air Slash Flint, go for the Hariyama, but going for the Primarina makes sense. If you get the flinch, that's pretty big. So knockoff was actually the better play in the Charizard anyway, because knockoff plus Solar Power would have probably finished out the Charizard at that range. So very happy about that. Now I'm in a great spot. I've already seen Ursaluna come in, and I'm feeling pretty good about this position, because now I should just be able to go for a... Did they Terra? They haven't Terra'd yet, right? No, they haven't Terra'd. I mean, I still... Like, Sinistcha probably just wins this game, like, straight up. Do I want to switch out the Prim? I guess I do switch out the Prim here. I go out of Sinistcha, and I go for a knockoff into the Ursaluna. They should go for a... Protect. I think, like you always protect here. If they don't protect, they can only KO Hariyama with a crit or Headlong Rush. They do go for protect. That makes sense. But Sinistcha is just like so comfortable here, right? Because it can just stick around against this Ursaluna and keep lowering its attack with Strength Sap. Feeling pretty good about the situation. We're going to go for a Strength Sap. Did I Strength Sap immediately? Headlong Rush does nothing, but I'm pretty sure I just Strength Sap here. And I'm going to go for a knockoff to cover for the Terra Ghost angle. Yep. Which is what they're going to do. Because if they take a close combat, they just instantly lose the game. So they kind of have to go for the Terra Ghost. And it makes sense too. It's also for the Prim because Sun is wearing off. So they go for the Terra Ghost. I go for the... Okay, they have a lot of speed actually. Because I don't remember the original Ursaluna on this team being that fast. But that's fine regardless. We do go for the Strength Sap. Maybe I should Trick Room then. I didn't think the Ursaluna was faster than my Sinistcha. Sun Fade's not that big of a deal. We tear our Primarina because they have to Earthquake the Primarina most likely here, and I call mine with Sinistcha. Like, I should still be like completely fine with winning this game. But yeah, we go for the Terra Grass. And we go for a Moonblast into the Ursaluna. The reason we go for Terra Grass is because if there is a chance the Primarina can live an Earthquake from the Ursaluna at -1, definitely gives me the best odds here. And I'm not tearing my Sinistcha at all in this game. Like, there's no reason to. Do we go for the Terra Grass? Do they Facade or did they Earthquake? They Earthquake, yep. Yeah, Primarina lives, which is huge. I get a Moonblast off and a Calm Mind, and that just seals it up because of the fact that they can't knock out my Primarina and my Sinistcha the next turn as well. So yeah, they can't even go for like Headlong Rush crit into my Sinistcha. Probably should have went for Trick Room, but doesn't really matter here too much. I will go for a... I'm going to Strength Sap first, the Ursaluna, and then Moonblast the Ursaluna, then go for Machagacha. Because let's say I go for Machagacha and I miss, I might be in range of Headlong Rush crit from Ursaluna. So this gives me better odds here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this gives me the best odds possible to guarantee the win. So we Strength Sap the Ursaluna. I mean, I guess like it could still come down to Headlong Rush crit, but I think they need 2 crits to knock me out. I'm gonna Machagacha. That's gonna be forfeit. Yeah, it's like really unlikely you beat the Sinistcha. So beautiful. I mean, that is the risk of running Sleep Powder. Like, no sympathy to players who click Sleep Powder. That's all I'm gonna say. That is the risk you take. All right, we have the Torkoal, the Charizard, the Incineroar, the Ursaluna, Jumpluff, and Porygon 2. The Marco Fiera LAIC team once again. Let's see. Do I want to go to King Gambit Hariyama angle this time? Well, that only worked if they lead Charizard plus Jumpluff. If they lead the Jumpluff, then it's still better to go with Volcarona plus Hariyama, I think, with Primarina and Sinistcha back. Yeah, I think it's still always the better call. A lot of this is just going to come down to how many sleep turns I take with the Primarina, or not Primarina, the Volcarona. Can I dodge the Sleep Powder with Hariyama, etc., etc.? Like, that's just how like some of these goes. Like, I could bring King Gambit, but I don't think it's ever worth it. Oh, they let Charizard. Okay, interesting. Versus Volcarona and the... All right, this is interesting. I could go for a Struggle Bug. I could go for a Knockoff. I kind of want to go for a Knockoff into Charizard and a Struggle Bug. I think Struggle Bug is always great here, and I think I go for Knockoff into the Charizard in case of the Terra Ghost. All right. No Terra Ghost, but I do win this potential speed tie against the Charizard. I get the Struggle Bug off, which is pretty huge because that lowers the damage output of the Charizard as they go for... Well, the Eject Pack is going to activate from the Torkoal, so they get a free switch, probably Ursaluna, but that's fine by me. I wonder if the Charizard can knock up Volcarona. It is Choice Specs and Sun with Solar Power, so it's a lot of multipliers, but that decreases a lot if one of them is messed up. We have the Ursaluna coming in. They go for Air Slash, actually, so I do live, yeah. And I get the knockoff, which is pretty huge. So, good damage into Charizard. I'll gladly take that, I suppose. I could have knocked off the Ursaluna, but the Charizard was also still a big threat. Yeah, I don't mind this situation. Do I want the Tailwind up, I guess? Guess it depends on the last. I do like... I'm trying to think, because they Air Slash and Facade, right? Oh, the air slash was with the choice specs, so they can't KO Hariyama anymore. I could flamethrower to Ursaluna for big guaranteed damage, or I could go for Tailwind Close Combat. I think I'm going to go for Tailwind Close Combat. I don't know if they're actually going to go for the Terra Ghost or not. They don't, which is perfect because they go for the Heat Wave. I'm able to survive with both. Even though it was a crit on Hariyama, it doesn't KO. Get a free Tailwind up with Volcarona, which means I get a huge close combat into the Ursaluna. It's not going to KO, but that's a massive hit. Yeah, almost KOs. Almost KOs. And then Earthquake. Oh, Facade. Okay, that's even better. All right, so Volcarona down, but right now I get a free swap into the Primarina to click Hyper Voice. I think so, yeah. Going to Primarina. Click Hyper Voice. I guess I could click Dazzle too. Dazzle's not too bad either. And then we bring in Sinistcha. I'm trying to think. Do I click Dazzle or do I click Hyper Voice? The problem is Charizard might live a Dazzle, so I think I'd rather just Hyper Voice and go Sinistcha. Even if it's the jump off in the back, I don't think it's too bad. Because I could probably Trick Room with Sinistcha if I have to. Alright, they give me both Mons, which is pretty pleasant. So Ursaluna goes down, the Charizard goes down, and they have limited turns of the Sunlight. So feeling pretty good. I'm curious on what the last is though, because maybe it's like Porygon instead. If it's Porygon, that's fine. I Terra Dark, Calm Mind with Sinistcha. I guess they have Terrassization, which I have to worry about, but still then it's still pretty alright. Yeah, it's Porygon too. Alright. So they get a physical attack boost, right? Perfect. I can just go for Hyper Voice, and I am going to go for a Terra Dark and Calm Mind with Sinistcha. Yeah. Because unless they go for a raw Terrifying Terra Blast immediately, I should be alright. I guess like the question is, if they Trick Room here, then they go for the Fighting Terra Blast. I mean, then I get Primarina in. I switch out Primarina and I think I'm okay. They protect Torkoal, which makes sense. I think they're going for Protect Trick Room, but they are stalling out their own Sun turn. So regardless, I think this is still alright. I get a free Calm Mind up with the Sinistcha. I'll take the Eruptions pretty well. And then I can Strength out the Porygon, get rid of the attack boost. So if they go for the Terra Fighting option, I should be fine. And I do have Min Speed Hariyama, which will outspeed the Porygon in the upcoming turns. So let's see. This should be Sun over. Or no, next turn is Sun, but that's fine. We go into Hariyama. And we go for a Strength Sap into the Porygon, because the only way that the Porygon can knock out my Sinistcha is with Terrifying Terra Blast. Which maybe I should have Strength Sapped. Maybe I should have hard switched into Hariyama, because maybe the Protect was obvious, because they didn't really want to take too much damage with the Torkoal, and they did want to Trick Room up, but I don't know if that was worth it. They should Terrifying Terra Blast here, the Sinistcha. They do get it off the attack, the physical attack, instead of special attack, because they got the attack boost, which is a bit unfortunate for me, but let's see. Unless they have a lot of special attack. Actually, didn't the Marco team run a lot of special attack? I think it ran a lot of special attack, but I have no idea about. We'll see. Oh, they went for the Terra Torkoal. Okay, no, that's definitely not it. That's definitely not it. Okay, no, I should be fine then. They shouldn't be able to knock out Sinistcha at all. They don't have a freeze win condition because of the Sun currently. They do go for the Eruption, which is fine. I'm guessing they went for Terra Blast and the Prim as well. Like, look at that. Look at that damage. That doesn't exist, man. They did go for Terra Blast. I really was thinking it was going to be Terrifying Terra Blast, but yeah, they were still going to be really weak against Primarina in the endgame, because I'm pretty sure Specs Moonblast was going to just blow them up if they did go for a Terrifying Terra Blast, which is why I was like, I think I'm still in a decent spot. It might have been a bit awkward, but I think it was like the best odds. Sunlight fades though, and now because the Torkoal Terra and it wasn't the Sinistcha or the Porygon Terra, I can now go for Hyper Voice pretty cleanly and just wrap up this game. So we're going to go for Hyper Voice, and we're going to reverse the Trick Room, because if they decide, hey, I'm going to protect Torkoal, attack with the Porygon, then I am going to be able to just reverse that Trick Room, so Primarina can go for a Hyper Voice, because if, let's say, Terra Blast twice, I should be fine against it. Oh, wait, that's funny. That's funny. Good play on their part, but I still think it's the same odds regardless. I think you have to go for a... Ice Beam Freeze now. Regardless. I'm gonna call mine up and Hyper Voice. You go for Eruption, it should be fine. It's out of Sun. And it's a James Baek, so yeah, it doesn't really do that much damage. You go for the Terra Blast, but yeah, even a crit won't KO. Even if they... Well, crit Eruption, crit Terra Blast might have, but luckily don't have to worry about that. We do get the Hyper Voice KO into Torkoal, and assuming I don't miss every single matcha gotcha in this game, I will be able to guarantee the win here. So, get another Calm Mind. Maybe I should have reversed Trick Room, but if they froze me, I wanted the boost. And then we go for Hyper Voice plus the attack with matcha gotcha. Oh, gonna be forfeit. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Nice. Don't have to worry about Sleep Powder, thankfully, and was able to get some pretty good just damage across the board, especially because I was able to get rid of their heavy hitters like immediately. They're more passive mons. I didn't have to worry about as much in the back. All right, we have Whimsicott, Blood Moon Ursaluna, the Golden Go, Sneasler, Incineroar, and Dragonite. What do I want to go here? This is a team. Well, actually, no, there was never a Whimsicott. It was a Rillaboom. So I wonder if there's like some Tailwind offense mode of like, it's similar to the team that won Frankfurt, but there's a Whimsicott, so the team could change definitely. Actually, no, there was no Dragonite on that team either. I guess this is just some Tailwind offense team. Then I gotta think of, all right. Primarina is fantastic here if I set it up in a great spot. The question is, can I do have tools too? But yeah, this is not, I'd say, easy per se. Volcarona is really good here. They have a tough time of breaking through the Volcarona. I think I go with Volcarona plus... I lead our child on this. Our child on is just a weird bring. I guess I could do Volcarona or Chaladon and have Primarina back. Probably no Hariyama then if that's the case, because I would probably want to bring Sinistcha because I don't mind having Trick Room up in this game. Or I could go with King Gambit as a Make It Rain switch. Like both technically work. I think I bring Sinistcha because I don't know if I go for Tailwind in this game. It's kind of hard to say if I go for Tailwind in this game, mainly because if I go with Tailwind in this game, they can match Tailwind pretty easily, and then I'm slower than everything. So I might try to go for the Trick Room route. It's just hard to set up Trick Room route because I can't fake out Golden Go, and I don't really want to commit Terra Dark when there's like a Sneasler involved. We're gonna see Golden Go plus the Whimsicott, which is not like surprisingly, as I lead our Chaladon plus the Volcarona. Like, this is not a terrible lead, unless this is Power Gem, but I don't think it should be Power Gem. I think I just go for a Struggle Bug into this team, and I go for a Flash Cannon into Whims. It covers like Sash Whimsicott, which I like. It covers Protect on Gold, and then just going for Tailwind. I like the idea of just making sure the Golden Go's not really like that big of an offensive threat. Like, Make It Rain's not putting in much pressure. They could Shadow Ball or Power Gem, sure. I guess like the worst case would be, well, if it's Power Gem, that means it should be choiced, and that means I could probably go in Sinistcha and get Trick Room up. So that's not even that big of a deal if it is. So I like the idea of just going for the Struggle Bug immediately. There's not really much of a punish here. They go for the Tailwind, which is perfectly acceptable. What does the gold click here is the question. It decides to click Shadow Ball into our Chaladon, which is completely fine. As brings me down to Sturdy. I mean, I would have liked to seen if it was like non-invested, because I think it's probably Specs Gold at this point. I would have liked to confirm it, but yeah, all right. Since it's not Life Orb, I'm pretty sure the Shadow Ball with like no... Why did that live? Uh-oh, why did that live? Okay. Why did that live the Struggle Bug? Granted, we did confirm his Covert Cloak on the Whims. All right. I think we just Struggle Bug and we just go for a Protect with our Chaladon. I think this is Moonblast. They might fake their Shadow Ball, but that won't knock out Volcarona, so that's fine. Okay, yeah, I think they Moonblasted. So they did go for the Shadow Ball. That's a death drop, which is good. They go for the Moonblast into the Archaludon, and I get a Flamethrower into, or I get a Struggle Bug KO to Wims, and I lower this Golden Ghost special attack by another stage, so it's really not doing much. Terra wise, I'm thinking Prim, or not Prim. The Sinistcha is looking pretty good. Okay, I could also go for Tailwind and stagger it. I don't need the Trick Room route anymore, but not 100%. Okay, Ursaluna comes in. This is Hyper Voice Shadow Ball. I could go for Terra Steel here. But if they Earth Power, that's really bad. But I think they're going to Hyper Voice Shadow Ball. If they have Hyper Voice, we don't know. I guess there's nothing wrong with going for Struggle Bug, Terra Steel, and just going for a Dragon Pulse into the Ursaluna. I'm pretty sure I can get Sinistcha in for a Trick Room plus a Hyper Voice with Prim. The Golden goes at -2 special attack, so it's really not doing too much. If they Earth Power, that's the only concerning play that I think that I have here. If they Hyper Voice, this is perfect. I get the special attack drops into Ursaluna and Golden Go, and then I bring in Sinistcha, and then they go for Trick Room. They go for Shadow Ball. I take it well. Can't get Spadef dropped either because of the Covert Cloak. They did go for Hyper Voice. It looks like it wouldn't have knocked out my Volcarona anyway, but I mean, better to be safe than sorry. Oh, it's Life Orb. Blood Moon. Okay, that's fine. Because we do get the Struggle Bug. Look at all that beautiful, beautiful damage into the Ursaluna. Now we go out into Sinistcha and set up that Trick Room. So we Rage Powder because we should live Shadow Ball into Blood Moon, and we go for the Trick Room. That way, our Primarina is looking very good to click Hyper Voice. I'm kind of curious. I'm pretty sure that this is no bulk Ursaluna because the Struggle Bug did a lot of damage, and I mean a lot of damage. Let's see. The gold could switch out to Ensign, which is fair, but I should live Fake Out into Hyper Voice. Good play on the Golden Go switching out. That's exactly what they needed. Oh, Dragonite. Okay, wait, that makes it easier. That makes it easier for me. Okay. Because we go for the Rage Powder. This is probably Earth Power or Blood Moon. Either one's fine. Yep. Okay. I think I lock into Hyper Voice because I don't care about the Dragonite, right? Yeah. I guess if this is like some Choice Band Dragonite, I should probably Strength Sap. Oh, I guess if this is Dragonite and if it's Choice Band, this is actually pretty bad. We do go for Hyper Voice always. I think I Strength Sap. I don't know if I'll live Extreme... If it's Terra Normal Extreme Speed though, I just don't know if I'll live Extreme Speed Terra Normal into another one. I think we Strength Sap anyway. They retreat Ursaluna, which is kind of surprising because that's like the mon I feel like that's super valuable. Or I think gold is the one that's super valuable here. So gold going to come in. They do Terra, which is not surprising. Okay. It is Terra Normal. Okay, I think this might be a bad end game. Unfortunately, I kind of miscalculated how well the Dragonite could play out because I didn't expect Dragonite to last. They do Extreme Speed. I don't have Rage Powder, unfortunately. Yeah, it does way too much to Prim. Yeah, I Strength Sap here, but it's not enough. Yeah, the Choice Band Dragonite made this a lot harder. If it was standard Scale Shot, this makes it pretty easy, but I mean, I could technically win. I think I needed to go for Calm Mind. I think I needed 2 Calm Minds to have a chance. Like maybe Sinistcha can win, but I think it's like super doubtful at this point. So I got a Calm Mind here. I think I needed to go for a Calm Mind the last turn and have +2 Sinistcha available. Because +2 Sinistcha might have been able to KO the Golden Go with Matcha Gotcha if it has like no bulk. And then I also probably would have taken the Shadow Ball a lot better. Shadow Ball is going to do a huge amount of damage. Yeah, as you can see, I think if I had, well, I mean special defense shove. Now my only win con is just hoping that Machagacha crits the Golden Go. They retreat to Dragonite, so they give me recovery, but it doesn't matter because I got Spit Def dropped. I do land both. I just need to crit the Golden Go. I don't even know if that KOs. Oh, if I went for Calm Mind instead of Strength Sap, I actually won because I would have two-shot the gold. I had the recovery. I don't think it would have been enough to live though, even if I got a second Calm Mind. Well, if I kept my special defense. Yeah, so what I needed to do was Calm Mind instead of Strength Sap because as I suspected, the damage didn't matter. I was like thinking maybe they go for the Choice Band Giga Impact into Prim. And if they do that, I might live with the Strength Sap, but I should have went for 2 Calm Minds. If I went for 2 Calm Minds, I think I won the game because then I just knock out Golden Go from that position. But well played for my opponent. Like, they did position the Dragonite in exactly when they needed to. I think I didn't capitalize on like that, but this game was very winnable, as I said before. Like, this was definitely a way I could have just went for a Calm Mind with my Sinistcha twice in a row, because if I Calm Mind instead of Strength Sap that one turn and wasted that Strength Sap, I could have got 2 Calm Minds. Then the Machagacha would have probably killed their Golden Go, and then like as long as I killed their Golden Go, like I have turn to Trick Room to sweep. Yeah, like I think I would have been able to be fine for winning. So how was the team? It's definitely very different, and I mean very different because the speeds are a bit interesting on this team. You don't really have the fastest mons. Your fastest mon is Volcarona, then Archaludon, and then the rest tend to be Trick Roomers. But I guess if your opponent's like expecting the Trick Room mode, you do have that option to go for the Tailwind mode, and having the dual speed mode with Primarina I think makes a lot of sense. I think Primarina is a really strong Pokemon, and it was able to showcase like how powerful it can be in today's video. And yeah, definitely a very unique team, and it was really cool to see, especially getting almost a regional win. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, there'll be a link to the description down below. If you'd like to try out the team, the rental code is on your screen. Hopefully it's still available by the time the video comes out. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.